Now, as I earlier mentioned, there is one major issue with this particular navigation bar, and that issue is nothing but this navigation bar actually appears on the index.html page, but now if you click on one of these items right over here, as you can see, neither the background color nor the navigation bar appears over here. But you already might know that a navigation bar has to be actually present on each one of the web pages of a particular website. So that means even if you click on one of these items, these pages should also have that navigation bar up over here. So how exactly can we go ahead and add this navigation bar on the detail page as well? So one thing which you can do is that you can simply go ahead, copy this navigation bar from here, go into the detail.html page and paste that navigation bar up over here. But that simply means that you are repeating certain bunch of code multiple number of times, and that's actually not a good practice, and it actually goes against the common software engineering practice, which is to avoid repetition of code. And the reason why you should avoid repetition of code is because, let's say if you copy this navigation bar from here to here. So right now you only have 2 templates, but what happens if your project actually has 100 templates? So you might actually go ahead and copy this navigation bar in 100 templates over there should be no problem at all. But let's say later, if your boss wants to change the layout or the design or the items on the navigation bar, then in order to make that simple change, you have to manually go through 100 such files and keep on changing the navigation bar code in each one of those 100 files. So in order to avoid that issue, what we do is that we use something which is called as a base template. So what we do in here is that we create another template in here, and we will call that template as base.html. And that base.html is actually going to contain all the code which is going to be applied to all these templates right here. So let's go ahead and learn how to create a base template and how to add that base template to these already present templates right over here. So in order to create a base template, simply go into the templates directory. In the food directory, create a new file, call it as base.html, and in here what you have to do is that you have to go ahead and first of all create some HTML in here. So I'll just go ahead, import some basic HTML tags in here, and in order to avoid confusion, I'll just go ahead get rid of the other unnecessary tags which we have over here. So once we go ahead and do that, the first thing which we do is that we go ahead and get the head of the index.html. So right now, as you can see, the head of this HTML actually contains link to the style sheet as well as bootstrap. So I'll simply go ahead and cut that from here, save the code, and I'll go back in the base template and I'll paste these links over here. So now once we go ahead and do that, we are almost done. Now what we want to do is that we also want to cut the navigation bar from here. So we go ahead, cut this entire navigation bar from here. We come back to the base template and we paste that navigation bar over here in the body tag of the base template. So now once we have transferred the common content from the index.html file to the base.html, now we need to go ahead and learn how to actually import this content over here in the index.html. So now in the base.html, in the body tag where the nav tags actually end, we are actually going to go ahead and add 2 tags, and that tag is going to be nothing but a block body tag. So I'll type in block body, and we'll add another tag which is called as a end block tag. So I'll type in end block, and what this basically means is that we are first going to have some navigation bar over here, and then the body of the block is going to start here and it's going to end here. And now once we have added these tags over here, what we need to do now is that we also need to go ahead and use these 2 tags in the index.html as well. So now what I will do here is that inside this body tag, I'll simply go ahead and first of all cut this entire code from here. And first of all, I'll add in the block body tag over here. So I'll type in block body, and then I'll go ahead and type an end block up over here, and I'll paste the entire code in here. So now if you go ahead and look at these two files, you will understand what exactly happens. So what this means is that whenever you want to load the index.html page, this is the content inside the block. And it says, first of all, you need to add this navigation bar, and then you need to load up the code inside the block body and the end block tag. And the code inside these tags is nothing but this code right here, which we have enclosed over here inside the block body and end block. So now once this thing is done, what you also need to mention is that in this particular index.html, you want to go ahead and import the base.html. So in order to do that, you go on top over here, and in here, you type in a tag which is called as extends. And in here, you simply mention which particular template do you want to extend. So we want to extend a template which is /base.html. And one final thing which you need to do over here is that as now the static files are actually present in the base.html file, now you need to go ahead, cut this load static files tag from here, and you actually need to place it in the base.html file. So now what happens is that whenever this template is loaded, it's actually going to read this line which says extends /base.html. Then it's going to go ahead and look up for this file which is base.html, and first of all it's going to load up the static files. And the static files are nothing but the style sheet over here and the bootstrap links which we have right over here. And after loading those files, it's going to first add the navigation bar right here. And after loading up the navigation bar, it's going to actually encounter the block body and end block tag. So henceforth, it's actually going to go back to the index.html, and then it's going to load the code which is present in between these two tags, which is the block body and end block. So now if you go ahead, save the code, and if we go back over here and hit refresh, as you can see, this page still works fine. But again, if you go to the detail page, as you can see, the detail page does not have the bootstrap styling and the navigation bar yet, because we have not yet added the base template, which is this template right here, to the detail.html file. So now let's go ahead and do that as well. So what I will do here is that I'll not go ahead and add in the HTML tags in here. Instead, I'll directly go ahead and first of all, I'll make this thing extend the base.html file. So I can simply go ahead and copy this particular tag right here, paste it up over here. So that means we have now loaded the base.html template. And now we also need to add the block body and end block as well. So I'll go ahead, start my block body here, and then I need to go ahead and end it right over here. So now let's see if this thing works out. So let me just go ahead, hit refresh, and now as you can see, when I go on pizza, that is when I go in the detail.html template, now we also have this navigation bar, and we also have bootstrap styling applied to the content as well, because as you can see, the font of this particular pizza actually has changed. So now even if you go to the other items as well, as you can see, the bootstrap theme and the styling is now applied, and the navigation bar is also present on each one of those items right over here. So that's it for this lecture. Hopefully you guys were able to understand how to use a base template. So a base template is nothing but it's simply a template which is going to contain the code which is common to all of your templates. And whenever you want to go ahead and extend that base template in some other template, you simply go ahead and type in extends and then mention the name of the template, and don't forget about the block body and end block tag. That is, you always need to mention what kind of code is going to be present inside the block body. Whatever code you want to make sure that is present in the block body, you simply enclose that code inside these two tags, which is block body and the end block tag. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.